Okay, so now we're going to look quickly at for loops. So a for loop is brilliant. It basically allows us to loop through and do something a specific amount of times depending on how we define it. So first type our keyword, so it's for. Then we're going to make a value inside the for loop. So this is local to only the for loop. And it's going to be I, and I want it to loop now 10 times. This is then our conditional, so it's saying while I is less than 10, we're going to keep looping through. As soon as I gets greater than that, it's going to change. So we say I plus plus, which just means every time we loop through, I is going to be incremented by 1. If we print out the values of I, we can then see what happens here. It's going to just print out 0 to 9. In other words, 10 things, because obviously 0 counts as one of the numbers, and so it's 10 values that go through there. So we could use this then to do a number of things. So we could say int, let's just call it num is equal to 1. So each time we go through now, we're going to take the value of num and add the value of I to it each time. In other words, this is going to incrementally get bigger and bigger and bigger each time. And so we can see then for the first loop, num is equal to 1. It's adding to 0 of I, and so we get 1. Next time it does the same thing, and it's going to just keep doing that until we increment this many times. We can also use it to loop through, say, a string. So if we had a string that says something like, hello, how are you? We can now get it to loop through, and instead of printing this number, or while printing this number, we can get it to go words.char at position I. And so it's basically just going to go print H, E, L, L, O as it goes through. Let's just turn it into a string. And so this character.toString just converts to a string. And so then we print out our H, E, L, L, O. And so it's just jumping through each time. And that's basically the nice thing about for loops, is it will specifically do that, or will go a specific amount of times. Just going to get rid of this so we can do another one that'll print out the whole string here of words. So what we could do is try find the actual length of hello, how are you? So if we do that, we can define a new integer, and using method, so words.len is going to get now the length of this. In other words, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And if we print out what the length of len is now, we should get 17. And see there, we end off with 17. Let's just put a break in between these so we can see the difference there. Right, so we get 17. Now we can tell our for loop to loop 17 times based on that variable that was set there. So we can do for int I is equal to 0. So we want to start at position 0, but we want it to go for the amount of values as long as len is. Notice that we do less than. That less than there is because even though we're going 17 spaces, there are only 16 values, because remember we're a 0 reference, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so it'll print out 2 there. We can then set our string to be, let's just call it letter, and we then call the specific value that we're looking for in the string with words.char at, as we did just now. We'll see that it's going to be unhappy with this now because this is returning a character. So we need to convert it to a string. And so one of the easier ways we can do that is to just add a plus inverted commas, and the double quotes there then just converts this to a string, and then we can print out letter each time it loops through. So on the first loop that this for loop does is going to get the H, on the second loop the E, the L, and so on. Right, so you can see there, it now prints it out all the way down like that. We could also do something like add a space in between each letter. So if we did that, got rid of that, we can see then it now prints out hello, how are you, but with spaces in between each letter. Yeah.